What's the most shocking thing you found while babysitting? I discovered the 8-year-old I was watching had been secretly caring for her baby brother because her parents were passed out drunk every night. I'd been babysitting for the Morrison family for about 3 months. They seemed normal enough. Nice house in a good neighborhood. Both parents had decent jobs, and their daughter Emma was this sweet, well-behaved 8-year-old who never gave me any trouble. They also had a 10-month-old baby named Lucas. The parents, Sarah and Mike, would usually head out around 7 p.m. for date nights and come back around midnight. Emma would always insist she could handle bedtime herself, which I thought was just her being independent. She'd take Lucas to his room, and within an hour, both kids would be quiet for the night. But last Tuesday, something felt off. I arrived at 6:30 p.m. to find Sarah stumbling slightly as she answered the door. Her words were slurred when she explained that Lucas had been fussy all day. Mike was passed out on the couch with an empty bottle of whiskey on the coffee table. When I asked if they were okay to go out, Sarah waved me off and said they'd just had a few drinks to relax. They left anyway, and I immediately noticed how different Emma was acting. Instead of her usual cheerful self, she seemed anxious and kept checking on Lucas every few minutes. When I offered to help with the baby's bedtime routine, she got defensive. No, I always do it. Lucas only goes to sleep for me. That's when I started paying closer attention. Emma knew exactly how to mix formula, change diapers, and even had this specific way of rocking Lucas that immediately calmed him down. This wasn't normal 8-year-old behavior. This was experience. Around 9 p.m., I heard Lucas crying from his room. I went to check, but Emma practically sprinted past me. I'll get him. He probably needs to be changed. But when I followed her to the nursery, I saw something that made my stomach drop. Hidden behind the changing table was a notebook where Emma had been tracking everything. Feeding times, diaper changes, sleep schedules, even notes about when Lucas seemed sick. The handwriting was clearly hers, careful and precise, like she'd been doing this for months. I sat down next to her. Emma, honey, how long have you been taking care of Lucas like this? She looked terrified, like she'd been caught doing something wrong. I'm not supposed to tell. Mommy and Daddy said it's our family business. But you can tell me, I'm here to help. That's when the whole story came out. Emma had been essentially raising Lucas since he was about 4 months old. Most nights, Sarah and Mike would start drinking after dinner and be passed out by 8 p.m. Emma would bottle feed Lucas, change him, put him to bed, and even get up with him during the night. She'd been doing this for months, learning everything from YouTube videos and pure instinct. Sometimes mommy forgets to buy formula, so I use my allowance money, she said matter-of-factly. Like this was completely normal. I was horrified. This 8-year-old had been carrying the full responsibility of caring for an infant while her parents were too drunk to function. When I asked what happened when I wasn't there, Emma said she'd just tell people that her parents were busy and handle everything herself. The worst part was how proud she was of it. I'm really good at taking care of Lucas. He never cries when I'm with him. I spent the rest of the evening documenting everything I could. The notebook, the empty bottles around the house, the way Emma instinctively knew exactly what Lucas needed. When the parents stumbled home at 1 a.m., clearly drunk, I knew I couldn't keep coming back and enabling this. The next morning, I called Child Protective Services. The investigation revealed that Emma had basically been Lucas's primary caregiver for over 6 months. The parents had been struggling with alcoholism, but hiding it well enough that neighbors and family hadn't noticed. Emma had been covering for them, taking on responsibilities no child should ever have. The good news is that both kids are now living with Sarah's mother, who had no idea what was happening. The parents are in rehab, and Emma is finally getting to be a kid again instead of a parent. She still asks about Lucas constantly, but now she gets to be his big sister instead of his caretaker.